Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti. It's good to see you. Coming in new at noon, Governor Brad Little has signed a bill that will ban people in Idaho from buying candy and soda with what's called SNAP benefits. However, in order for it to go into effect, the federal government will need to sign off on it. So House Bill 109 requires a federal waiver from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to put in place the changes to Idaho's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, otherwise known as SNAP. Supporters say it could help reduce health problems, including childhood obesity. However, opponents say it demonizes those who rely on those SNAP benefits. In a press release, Governor Little says his administration is, quote, committed to securing the waiver as quickly as possible. The legislation is part of the national Make America Healthy Again movement that's being promoted by the U.S. Health Secretary. Also, a hearing is scheduled for this afternoon for the Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador. The Trump administration and El Salvador's president have signaled that they do not plan to take any action, this coming despite a Supreme Court order to bring him back. Natalie Brand has more now from the White House.
The Trump administration has sent more than 200 migrants to a maximum security prison in El Salvador, paying the country around $6 million to house them. Now President Trump is suggesting he may want to expand the program.
Ahead of his Oval Office meeting with El Salvador's president, a camera caught President Trump discussing sending U.S. citizens who commit violent crimes to El Salvador.
Homegrowns are next. The homegrowns. You got to build about 5 more places.
Yeah, that's big.
All right. It's not big enough.
Later, in front of a larger group of reporters, the president said his attorney general was looking into the idea.
I'm talking about really bad people. Really bad people. Every bit as bad as the ones coming in.
Former federal judge John Jones says deporting Americans is unconstitutional, pointing to the 8th Amendment, which prohibits cruel and unusual punishments.
Not only chilling, but it's also not going to be legal.
The administration is also facing an intensifying legal fight to return a Maryland resident after admitting an administrative error prompted Kilmar Abrego Garcia's deportation to El Salvador last month. A judge ruled in 2019 he could not be returned to his home country for fear of persecution. But the Trump administration alleges he's an MS-13 gang member, something his family and attorney disputes.
When President Trump declared MS-13 to be a foreign terrorist organization, that meant that he was no longer eligible for any form of immigration relief in the United States.
Last week, the Supreme Court ruled the administration should facilitate Abrego Garcia's return, with Justice Sonia Sotomayor raising concerns about due process. Attorney General Pam Bondi says it's up to El Salvador.
Abrego Garcia's wife, in a statement to CBS News, accuses the Trump administration and El Salvador's president of playing political games, she says, with her husband's life. And Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland, who's been pushing to meet with El Salvador's President Bukele, says that if Abrego Garcia is not returned to the U.S., he will travel to El Salvador to check on Abrego Garcia's condition and discuss his release. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Idaho State Police are investigating a 3-car crash that killed one person and hospitalized a child. Troopers say a 33-year-old man from Spokane was driving his car on U.S. Highway 95 in Boundary County when he then rear-ended a 50-year-old Naples man. His car was pushed into the northbound lane, where it was then hit by a driver in another car. Then both those cars caught on fire. The Naples man died at the scene, and right now we are making calls to find out the condition of the child. We have some new developments from Washington State University's fraternity hazing allegations. Alpha Sigma Phi is losing its university recognition for at least the next 5 years. The WSU Student Organization Policy Violation Report website is showing that a university investigation found members pressured recruits to use alcohol and cannabis over 4 different semesters and gave them tasks that created a, quote, power imbalance. If the chapter wants to apply for re-recognition, the fraternity must be alcohol-free for at least 2 years and meet the university's Center for Community Standards. And it is not the first offense. They also lost recognition briefly in 2020 for a different hazing incident at that time. Well, it is 12:05 right now, and it's going to be a warm and wonderful afternoon. Hope you get to take advantage of it and maybe get outside. We have meteorologist Thomas Patrick. He is taking advantage of it. He's at the KREM 2 Outdoor Weather Center. You can hear the birds chirping. You're like a little bit like Snow White out there.
Oh my goodness. I don't know about that, Laura, but I am definitely taking advantage of the afternoon sunshine. It is so warm out here. This might be the most beautiful day we remember of all of 2025, in my opinion. Not too cool in the morning hours. Absolutely perfect. Not a cloud in the sky right now. There are your current temperatures well into the 60s everywhere across Spokane County, just lagging behind a little bit at Post Falls at 57, but still climbing fast. I do think our high temperatures today should be able to eke into the low 70s in Spokane County, and if not 70, 69, 68, 67 degrees, which is still just about perfect for the inland Northwest. Again, no weather concerns whatsoever. Enjoy it for today. Now, moving forward, we've got some slightly cooler days for really more next week. I think starting Easter and then afterwards, we might dip back into the 50s for a couple days. But I think most importantly, we're watching tomorrow's weather for a bit more of a troublesome day in the region. There are wind advisories that will go into effect for this portion of Okanagan and Douglas counties starting at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Wind gusts could surge up to 45 miles per hour. So coming up, I'm going to show you how fast the winds are going to be all throughout the inland Northwest and the impacts that will have directly on our region. So those details are all coming up in your weather impact forecast in about 10 minutes.
Thomas, thank you very much. All right, 12:07 right now. Spokane has a new spot in town where breastfeeding moms who want to donate milk can drop it off. Just about 2 hours ago, Multi-Care Deaconess Hospital's neonatal intensive care unit held a ribbon cutting for a Northwest Mother's Milk Bank. Breastfeeding moms who wish to donate breast milk to help save lives of premature infants here in the inland Northwest now have a place to leave that milk. The donated milk is pasteurized and provided to premature or ill babies. We absolutely love it when we can bring a very happy update to you. This is about a story we first brought you yesterday on KREM 2 News. Local Vietnam veteran Michael Zorn was distraught after his comfort dog disappeared in Spokane. The dog Tika can calm his nerves and provide solace during struggles with PTSD. After Tika was profiled yesterday on KREM 2 News at 4 o'clock, the family that found her in the street was able to get in contact with Zorn and reunite him with his beloved dog. And that's a picture of them last night when they got reunited after they found Zika after the 4 o'clock news segment. So we're so glad they're together again.